Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhaktivinoda. I decided that Sanatan had spoken very well. I was certainly being followed by a large crowd. And when people would see so many men, they would surely rebuke me, saying, "Here is another impostor." I then began to consider that Vrindavan is a very solitary place. It is invincible and very difficult to attain. I therefore decided to go there alone, or at the most, with only one person. Madhavendra Puri went to Vrindavan alone, and Krishna, on the pretext of giving him milk, granted him an audience. I then understood that I was going to Vrindavan like a magician with his show, and this is certainly not good. No one should go to Vrindavan with so many men. I have therefore resolved to go alone, or at the most with one servant. In this way, my journey to Vrindavan will be beautiful. I thought, instead of going to Vrindavan alone, I am going with soldiers and the beating of drums. I therefore said, "Fie upon me," and being very much agitated, I returned to the banks of the Ganges. I then left all the devotees there and brought only 5 or 6 persons with me. Now, I wish that you will all be pleased with me and give me good counsel. Tell me how I shall be able to go to Vrindavan without impediments. I left Gadadhar Pandit here, and he became very unhappy. For this reason, I could not go to Vrindavan. Being encouraged by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's words, Gadadhar Pandit became absorbed in ecstatic love. Immediately, clasping the lotus feet of the Lord, he began to speak with great humility. Gadadhar Pandit said, "Wherever you stay is Vrindavan, as well as the river Yamuna, the river Ganges, and all other places of pilgrimage. Although wherever you stay is Vrindavan, you will still go to Vrindavan just to instruct people. Otherwise, you will do whatever you think best." It was not essential for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan, for wherever he stayed was immediately converted to Vrindavan. Indeed, at that place there was also the river Ganges, the river Yamuna, and all other places of pilgrimage. This was also expressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he danced in the Rath Yatra. At that time he said that his very mind was Vrindavan, Mora Mana Vrindavan. Because his mind was Vrindavan, all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna were taking place within himself. Nonetheless, just to teach people, he visited Bhoma Vrindavan, Vrindavan Dham in this material world. In this way, the Lord instructed everyone to visit Vrindavan Dham, which is a very holy place. Materialists consider Vrindavan Dham an unclean city because there are many monkeys and dogs there. And along the bank of the Yamuna, there is refuse. Some time ago, a materialistic man asked me, "Why are you living in Vrindavan? Why have you selected such a dirty place to live after retiring?" Such a person cannot understand that the earthly Vrindavan Dham is always a representation of the original Vrindavan Dham. Consequently, Vrindavan Dham is as worshipable as Lord Krishna. Arajo Bhagavan Vesha Tanascha Dhamma Vrindavanam. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, Lord Sri Krishna and his abode, Vrindavan, are equally worshipable. Sometimes materialistic people who have no spiritual understanding go to Vrindavan as tourists. One who goes to Vrindavan with such materialistic vision cannot derive any spiritual benefit. Such a person is not convinced that Krishna and Vrindavan are identical. Since they are identical, Vrindavan is worshipable as Lord Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision, Moramana Vrindavan, is different from the vision of an ordinary materialistic person. At the Rath Yatra festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, absorbed in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, dragged Lord Krishna to Vrindavan Dham. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke of this in the verses beginning Ahus Chate Maja Lila. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, a human being who identifies the body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth as worshipable, and who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is considered to be like an ass or a cow. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally renovated Vrindavan Dham and advised his chief disciples, Rupa and Sanatan, to develop it and open it to attract the spiritual vision of the general populace. At present there are about 5,000 temples in Vrindavan, and still our society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is constructing a huge, magnificent temple for the worship of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, along with Radha Krishna and Guru Gauranga. Since there is no prominent Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, we are attempting to construct one so that people will be attracted to Krishna Balaram, or Nitai Gaura Chandra. Rajendra Nandana Ye, Sachi Sutta Haile Se. Narottam Das Thakur says that Balaram and the son of Maharaj Nanda have advented themselves as Gaunitai. To propagate this fundamental principle, we are establishing a Krishna Balaram temple to broadcast to the world that worship of Gaunitai is the same as worship of Krishna Balaram. Although it is very difficult to enter into the Radha Krishna pastimes, most of the devotees of Vrindavan are attracted to the Radha Krishna Leela. However, since Nitai Gaura Chandra are direct incarnations of Balaram and Krishna, we can be directly in touch with Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Those who are highly elevated in Krishna consciousness can enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna through the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna. Sometimes materialists, forgetting the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Balaram, go to Vrindavan, accept the land's spiritual facilities, and engage in material activities. This is against the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Prakita Sahajas proclaim themselves Brajavasis or Dhammavasis, but they are mainly engaged in sense gratification. Thus they become more and more implicated in the materialistic way of life. Those who are pure devotees in Krishna consciousness condemn their activities. The eternal Brajavasis like Swarup Damodar did not even come to Vrindavan Dham. Sri Pundarik Vijayanidhi, Sri Haridas Thakur, Sri Vas Pandit, Shivananda Singh, Sri Ramananda Roy, Sri Sikhi Mahiti, Sri Mahadevi, and Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami never visited Vrindavan Dham. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur points out that we have no authorized document stating that these exalted personalities visited Vrindavan. Nonetheless, we find many non-devotees, Mayavadi sannyasis, Prakita sahajas, fruitive workers, mental speculators, and many others with material motives going to Vrindavan to live. Many of these people go there to solve their economic problems by becoming beggars. Although anyone living in Vrindavan somehow or other is benefited, the real Vrindavan is appreciated only by a pure devotee. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. When one has purified eyes, he can see that Sri Vrindavan and the original Goloka Vrindavan planet in the spiritual sky are identical. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Sri Bhagavan Das Babaji Maharaj, and Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and later Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur of Calcutta always engaged in Nam Bhajan, and certainly did not live anywhere but Vrindavan. Presently, the members of the Hare Krishna consciousness movement throughout the world live in materially opulent cities such as London, New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Moscow, Zurich, and Stockholm. However, we are satisfied with following in the footsteps of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other acharyas, because we live in the temples of Radha Krishna and continuously hold Harinam Sankirtan by chanting of Hare Krishna. We consequently live in Vrindavan and nowhere else. We are also following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by attempting to construct a temple in Vrindavan for our disciples throughout the world to visit. Taking this opportunity, Gadadhar Pandit said, "Just now, the 4 months of the rainy season have begun. You should therefore spend the next 4 months in Jagannath Puri. After remaining here for 4 months, you will be free to do as you like. Actually, no one can stop you from going or remaining." Upon hearing this statement, the devotees present at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated that Gadadhar Pandit had properly presented their desire. Being requested by all the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to remain at Jagannath Puri for 4 months. Hearing this, King Prataparudra became very happy. That day, Gadadhar Pandit extended an invitation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord took his lunch at his place with the other devotees. No ordinary human being can possibly describe Gadadhar Pandit's affectionate presentation of food or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tasting of this food. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes which are unlimited and unfathomable. Somehow or other, these have briefly been described. It is not possible to describe them elaborately. Although Lord Anantadev is always describing the pastimes of the Lord with his thousands of mouths, he cannot reach the end of even one of the Lord's pastimes. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus ended Bhaktivedanta purports to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, 16th chapter, describing Lord Chaitanya's attempt to go to Vrindavan. So that's the end of that volume. And we'll finish that book. So now we go on to volume 4, Madhya-lila. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Prabhupada ki.